Hey, Cal here with PrecisionRifleBlog.com. Today I have with me a Mausingfield action, which is a brand new design. In fact, this one is serial number 0001. It's a design by Ted Courageous of American Rifle Company, and Ted has incorporated a ton of innovative features in this that make it very different from a lot of the Remington 700 based actions that are on the market. And I wanted to quickly run through some of those. Let's start with the Extraction. It's pretty easy to notice that this bolt is very different than a Remington 700 based bolt. It has this huge Mauser 98 extractor on the side of it, and there's some great things about this, and I'll hit on a couple. One of them is that the extractor actually rotates with the bolt. You can see that as you close the bolt, this is closed position, and then I'm opening the bolt. The extractor actually maintains that same point of contact with the case head. It never rotates on the case. And that's one place where an extraction failure can occur, is that case head can slip off of the extractor, but this one actually maintains contact with that same point instead of rotating with the bolt as you turn it. Another thing is that the actual extractor is enormous compared to some of the other models on the market. It is the largest extractor out there, and that's another thing that actually makes it a little more robust. The next feature I wanted to point out is ejection. The Mausingfield uses an injector that's very similar to a Model 1903 Springfield. Unlike a lot of the Remington 700 based bolts, which have a spring plunger ejector located in the bolt face, this can cause some problems with debris, brass, anything clogging that delicate part right there, that port, keeping that from plunging in and out. Instead, Ted's is on the back end of the action, away from where most of the high pressure is going to be. And this is really a pretty simple system. As you can see in this video, as you draw the bolt back and it comes all the way to a stop, there's a small lever that kicks out, and that's actually what ejects the round. And it's a very simple method, but a very reliable way to eject as well. One more good thing about the ejector is that as you're ejecting the round, you have more control over how far it's going to throw that brass case. Unlike those spring-loaded plungers that always throw the brass with the same amount of force, you actually can control that with this type of ejection system just by the amount of force you're using to move the bolt back. So if you move it back very assertively, you're going to throw that brass way far away from the rifle, whereas if you move it back slowly, it's going to eject the round right beside the rifle. Another unique feature of the Mausingfield action is the bolt lugs. They have a unique shape. They aren't squared off like many Remington 700 based bolts. They're actually toroidal in shape, and that's a big word, but it actually is just like a donut shape. And the bolt lugs are in the shape of a donut, and you can think of the inside of the action as a sphere or a bowl. So if you have a bowl and a donut inside of it, as you put pressure on it, it's going to automatically find the center. It's the lowest state of energy. And you can see in this diagram what I'm talking about. And that's actually what's happening inside the action every time you close the bolt, is that it's centering itself, but also getting contact all the way around. And that's why you don't have to lap it. And another very cool feature of this action is a keyed rail interface. And many actions on the market, such as this Surgeon 591, has an integral rail. The rail and the action are one piece, machined out of one piece. Yet there's a lot of other actions, such as this Stiller Predator, that actually have a separate rail. The rail is bolted onto the action. And in fact, I've traded out the rail on this rifle. This is a 30 MOA rail. It started off with a 20 MOA rail. But the good thing about it is you can change that to fit the application of the rifle. The Mausingfield actually doesn't have an integrated rail. It allows you to switch it out. They offer a 0 MOA, so a flat base, a 20 MOA, 30 MOA, and 40 MOA, which allows you to customize it for your application and maximize the amount of elevation you're able to use in your scope. Yet at the same time, Ted has mitigated the issue with a lot of disconnected rails by this keyed interface, and essentially you can run the rail up and it locks, and it can't move in this direction, which is the direction the recoil is going to want to force the scope. An object in rest wants to stay at rest, right? So recoil wants to drive the rifle this way, yet the scope wants to stay where it is. So all the force is going to be in this direction, but the rail isn't allowed to move in that direction because of this machined key interface. Plus, Ted uses a lot of bolts on this, and not just little ones. Here you can see These bolts on the right are out of my Stiller Predator action, and these beefed up bolts are the ones that come in the Mausingfield. And there's actually 5 of them across the top of this rifle. I've had issues personally with my rail moving around, and they can be frustrating to diagnose. Yet I have all confidence that you're not going to get any movement from this action. Now, we've talked about some of the things that are different about this action. There's a lot of things that are the same as a lot of the other Remington 700 actions. One, it works with all the Remington 700 accessories. So triggers, stocks is the same footprint, all of that stuff. The only thing that wouldn't work is a rail. So these rails are proprietary to American Rifle Company, and you'd have to buy them from them for them to work on this keyed interface. The rifle features an integral recoil lug like a lot of the other top brands on the market right now. It also works with AI magazines, but it works great with something I just discovered, these alpha magazines, which essentially work in anything that takes an AI magazine. Yet this is a 10-round magazine. Compared to an AI 10-round magazine, there is quite a difference. You can see the size difference. It's actually, the Alpha magazine is somewhat in between a 5-round AI magazine and a 10-round AI magazine, and you can see the size difference. How it does that is it actually transitions to a double stack much quicker than what the AI magazine does. And it's a couple ounces lighter than the AI magazines. And what I experienced is with the Alpha mag, which is a more compact, lighter weight, 10-round mag, the Mausingfield had no issues with it. In testing, I took this thing multiple days out to the range and fired through a whole case of Hornady 6.5 Creedmoor match-grade ammo. And I have to say I'm pretty impressed. We had a Surgeon 6.5 Creedmoor right beside it, 22-inch barrel just like this one, and we were firing groups side by side, and they matched each other. The Mausingfield action is capable of amazing accuracy. It includes a lot of innovative features, and I'm really excited to see what those guys come up with next.